Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Just Minding My Business Media. I'm happy that you joined us today, and I am so excited to bring to you Alfredo Borodowski, who is a keynote speaker, consultant, and workshop leader who helps leaders and organizations thrive in the most disrupted era of our lifetime, the age of artificial intelligence. Wow. Welcome, Alfredo, because there is so much fear going around about artificial intelligence.
Yes. Hi, Ida. Hi, everybody. I would say fear and excitement. And
Yes,
that's
yeah,
actually the tension we live in. And that's what I see at companies.
yeah.
This mixture, blend of tremendous excitement about what is coming, what is here now, and what is coming. And at the same time, uncertainty and fear and anxiety like never before.
Never before. I love AI because it helps me be a better writer. It helps me get my thoughts in order. It also supports me in, mapping out my next moves. Because sometimes I may not have all of it in my head, but I kind of know what I'm trying to do. But at the same time, in terms of, the bad players out there is what concerns me.
Yeah, you see, people do not understand what the fear is about. I have, I think, a different view. I am a doctor in philosophy, then I come from philosophy. I am a lawyer also, then I have an understanding of systems, and I'm a social worker and a therapist. Then I have a blend of a different kind of view. And what is happening with AI, and I haven't seen many talking about this, is that we had fear with other technologies. When the printing press was created, was tremendous fear that people would know too much. With the steam machine and with the automatization of industry, also we have fear that people will become obsolete. Okay? Even with electricity, there were people writing, scientists, that people would go crazy. All kind of fears. But the main fear at that time was about technology replacing what we do. Now it's different because the technology is replacing who we are. It's a completely different ball game. It's not replacing what humans do, but it's replacing humanity. Then now AI can write a song, can write a poem. It will imitate emotions. And I tell you, not too far in the future, people are going to be talking to an avatar more than to another human being. Then the fear is deeper. It's about what is to be human, what is going to remain from humanity. It's a completely different kind of fear, which we are not really tackling in the right way because we're still using some of the tools that we used to confront prior technological changes. And well, that's what positive psychology does. I do positive psychology. It's a science for the problems we have now.
Wow, you're absolutely right. Because now, we're kind of already there because when the phone rings and the other voice on the line, I had a call the other day and I couldn't even tell it was AI until the conversation got a little bit more involved. Then
Right.
I realized it was AI.
Are
So
you
I
feel
was like, oh
embarrassed? You
my
feel
God.
embarrassed, like,
Yes,
for a second.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, the person was talking back and forth, and then when I said certain things, it didn't really pick up on it. So I realized this is a machine talking.
Well, the steam machine and the internet and the electricity and the printing press were not doing that.
Right.
AI
Exactly.
is doing that, and I don't see, and in the circles I work with of consultants, that they are fully understanding what the challenge is about, and then they are not speaking the language that is necessary, and understanding the fear and anxiety and uncertainty is a completely different game now that
Yeah.
requires different tools at the consulting level. Okay, then I work mostly with positive psychology and what is called now psychological capital. You know, people talk a lot about social capital, human capital. We now have discovered a new capital. This is only a few years old. I am bringing you the latest. It's called psychological capital. And we have discovered that there are four what we call capacities that if companies develop, they become resilient as never before and can go through technological innovation without losing the human. And the four capacities are confidence, optimism, hope, and resilience. Okay, and when I talk about hope and optimism, they are very technical. It is a science about how to develop hope and optimism and confidence and resilience. We have now the science and methodology to increase that at the company. That has to be done either at the same time that technological innovation is being executed. If you invest on that side of progress as much as technology, your company will be ahead of others. Okay, that's what's going to determine which companies are going to make it into the future. The one who understand how to manage, increase, develop, promote human capital using the latest technology, the latest science of human development.
Wow. Wow. So how do companies begin to wrap their head around that? Because I'm sure most companies aren't thinking that way.
As I mentioned, positive psychology, the science of flourishing, began in 1998. It's relatively new. It's an established science. It is psychological capital, which is a branch that works specifically with organizations and corporations, is only 10 years old. There are hundreds of experiments and papers and conferences, but has not yet filtered into the field, into the trenches of the corporations. There are some corporations doing it intuitively. SodaStream, for those who know that company, SodaStream, who conquered the market of pressurized liquid in few years. People ask themselves, how did they do it? Well, if you look at the company, they brought a team of positive psychologists and they changed the culture. The same was done on Microsoft with Sty, the new CEO 2014, who is the current CEO. He changed the culture into the culture of empathy, psychological capital. I was listening now to the new CEO of Starbucks, and Starbucks is not doing well. What his plan is, he says, we open too many driveway coffee shops. You just drive by and buy your coffee. And he said, no, we need to go back to the origins of Starbucks, where Starbucks was the third place, which is the place between work and home and work, the place where people go to meet friends, to talk about life, to socialize, to sit down and read a book. And he understands that human connection and capital is going to be what is going to bring Starbucks back to the top. No technological improvement, but bringing it to the origin of belonging. Because what's going to happen as AI conquers more of our reality, the human is going to become a luxury. And the companies that bet on the human, they are going to have the advantage over those who only bet on technology, because there is going to be a scarcity of the human, and those companies who also provide the emotional, they are going to have the upper hand.
And that makes perfect sense, because as humans, connection is important to us. We must have it.
Connection, you see, connection at the human level, okay, not at your social media on the phone.
Right, exactly.
Okay, is going to be precious as technology advances.
And
Okay, then
what? It already is.
it's
Because
going to become even more. Then yes, companies who invest on technology, they're going to have an initial, jump because of the newness and the gadget. But given a choice, and technologies can be replicated by other company, humanity cannot be replicated. Then the companies that invest on the human connection with the people working there and project it outside will be the ones to do best. And by the way, something we know now from positive psychology and psychological capital is that we know that the human has a direct impact on performance, and then on results, and then on the bottom line. Then you can be nice and do well. Okay, then we need to understand the human is on the DNA of performance. And those who do not invest on the human will perform worse than those who do. Then it's not an issue of values. I love values and ethics. No, I am a scientist of character strength, a scientist of resilience, motivation, optimism, and hope, a scientist. We apply the tools that bring results to the equation. And we know that without doing those steps and only implementing technology, the companies who do not invest on the human psychological capital will fall behind. Will fall behind.
I can actually picture that. I can actually picture that, because some of the restaurants are, I've already seen it, like in the Walmart, when they implemented the self-checkout. That's the most horriblest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. When they had the cashier, I actually saw a gentleman, Valentine's Day, bring one of the ladies a bouquet of roses. You can't get that from a machine.
Right? Look, I believe in options. I am pro-technology, by the way. I love AI. Then I think it's going to do great things for us. And I like options. Look, I just went for a conference in Arizona, and I saw the first self-driven taxis. Those who, okay, and they were cute, but I couldn't take one. Okay, I imagine that there are some people who say, I want to take one because I don't want to talk with anybody and I want my privacy. Okay, just take me where I need to go. I don't like to talk.
All right.
But I like to talk with the drivers. Something I learned from taxi drivers more than anybody else. I tell them, hey, what people are thinking about these days.
Yeah.
I am a consultant. I work with people. They are my output to a lot of wisdom. What are they thinking about today? What do they talk to you about? And I learn a lot. Then, I don't take the self-driven taxis. Okay. I like the human connection, those little moments of connection. I understand those who like to take the other taxi. We need options, but
Yes.
but we need to be very, very subtle and balanced on how we manage technology and the human component. Okay, and people are smart. They walk into a company or they call a company, and in 2 seconds they understand if this company cares about them
Mhm.
or not. If they are using, it takes 2 seconds. We are already trained as people to detect, okay, how much a company cares about you. Is the initial hello,
True.
okay? And those who master that will perform better. Not only be good, nice, perform better. It's about performance. By the way, something I am seeing also is that when there is a lot of layoff due to AI, companies are thinking that those who stay are going to be grateful. I survived. I am the chosen. And it works for 2 or 3 months. Then people who really survive for the first 2 or 3 months, they work harder, they are more committed, and they feel proud. And then something else happens: survival remorse. And they begin asking the question of, am I going to be next? As technology advances, am I going to be next? And we see a nosedive on commitment, loyalty, and motivation. And very few companies are investing on a post-layoff plan of how to keep those remaining motivated and resilient. I would tell you, Ida, almost I haven't seen on my work any company, maybe the big ones, but smaller ones, and there is more and more layoff, are not prepared to manage that transition. And they think that people who remain are going to be happy dandy walking around the company saying, you see, I am of value, and it's all the opposite. If they don't reinforce motivation, loyalty, and commitment, they will suffer. And we have the tools, by the way. Today, we have the tools, scientific tools, and maybe, well, ask a question. I want to suggest something, but let's go for another question.
Oh, wow. I'm just taking you all in, Alfredo.
Thank you.
Um,
I
I,
feel passionate. I feel passionate about this.
I can tell.
Look. Tell you why I'm passionate. Positive psychology, when it began in 1998, they put a team of the best scientists, historians, theologians, philosophers, sociologists, psychologists to study characters, virtues. And they came up with 24 character strengths, which you find either across geography, history, in all people. There are 24,
Mm,
like love of learning, humor, forgiveness, leadership, spirituality, curiosity, perseverance. And everybody has them all. But we prefer the top 5 are different for you and for me. Then my top 5 are love of learning, creativity, curiosity, perseverance, and bravery. Those are my top 5. Your top 5 energize you, motivate you. You feel more authentic. You need to know them to be at your best. We know from studies that 7 out of 10 people do not know them. There is an epidemic of blindness of character strength. Then you're at your company, at your team, and you walk out and look at people, the chances are that 7 out of 10 people there are working below their capacities.
wow.
And how below? We know that too. if you know your top 5 strengths, just knowing them, you are capable of flourishing 9 times more. Just knowing them either. If you apply them, 18 times more, which means that 7 out of 10 people out there are walking through life just by not knowing their strengths 9 times below their capacities. Then the first thing I do when I go to a company or I work one-on-one with an executive is strength assessment. And I make sure that everybody knows and work with the top 5 strengths. And I tell you, motivation, resilience skyrockets.
And
I,
I would see why that would be important. I would see that why that would be important because that's your reason for being. That would be, who you are as a person.
you want to use a technical term for reason for being, that's your purpose. And
Absolutely.
that's something else that I work with companies, which is on purpose clarification. I use a new instrument that just came to the market 2 months ago. There are very few people licensed. There are only 100 people licensed in the United States. I am one of them. I feel so happy. It's called the Purpose Factor. Purpose Factor is the best instrument ever created on giving a person what their purpose is, which kind of purpose. It's an instrument that gives you a 49-page report, comprehensive, and I do with people and I do with teams. What is the purpose of the team? And there is so much disorientation, lack of purpose. I love this instrument and I am having great success and I am getting a lot of clients to work specifically on purpose.
Yes, because that's important. Why am I here?
Purpose is the way I'm here is defined as giving the best of yourself for the betterment of others.
Yes.
Okay, and when you give the best of who you are for the betterment of others, you don't get success. You get fulfillment.
Yes, you do.
And it's a big difference between success and fulfillment, and that's why people get what they want and achieve their objectives, their promotion, the merger, whatever they want, and then they feel empty, and they come back to me and say, Alfredo, I got there. It lasted for a month, and now I feel emptier than ever because there is no alignment between character strengths, purpose, and fulfillment, and they're working towards success, not towards fulfillment. They are not giving the best of themselves based on their character for the betterment of others to get in return fulfillment. Okay, once you get there, then you can achieve whatever you want and feel fully realized. And people are desperate to get there, and companies are. And now we have the purpose factor, we have the tool. It took 10 years to develop this instrument. 10
So,
years.
wow. So, how do companies connect with you?
Then I want to do 2 things for those listening. First of all, I am on a quest to end strength blindness. People ask me, Alfredo, what you do? And I say, I am an optometrist of companies. Then I will tell everybody now listening how to get your top strengths in an easy way. Okay, take your phone. You're listening, take your phone. Go to your text and text the word positive to 33777. It's as easy as it gets. You just type positive to 33777, and I will email you a chart either with the 24 character strengths of positive psychology, a couple of questions of how to determine which one are your top 5, And for those who are more daring, a couple of exercises about how to maximize your potential to 18 plus. I have my calendar also there for anybody who wants to get in touch with me. That's one way to get in touch with me. For those who want more information with my workshops and, and I have a website, which is easy. You already should know the first word of my website,
Positive.
positive, then, then it's positive AB, Alfredo Borodowski, positive AB altogether.com. And I tell you, I have in a book coming on January. It's called The Human Upgrade, the New Resilient Leadership for Peak Performance on the AI Revolution. And that's going to be published under the John Maxwell label on leadership. And there is a manual for leaders on how to apply all the science that I mentioned, to the companies. And every chapter at the end has workshops. The managers and leaders can implement in easy workshops. At the companies, every chapter has cases, case studies. Okay. Then there is a chapter on strengths, one on psychological capital, one on gratitude, how to use gratitude as a tool. Today, I'm finishing the chapter on leadership. What is what we call the E-leadership? Okay, what kind of leadership is the most effective on the AI revolution? Then I am very, very excited about that. And if you go to my website, I will be announcing when the book is coming out and how to get it.
Okay, well, I can't wait because this is definitely thought-provoking, and really requires you to do some inside work for sure.
It's all about awareness at the end of the day.
Yes.
It's all about awareness. What leadership is, awareness.
Yes. Knowing where you belong and excelling at it.
Yeah.
Sure. Wow. This has been, you got my head all over the place, Alfredo.
That's what I love to do. I love to think. I love to think and make people think.
Yeah,
That's my
so
great.
important.
I love that.
Yes, and I love to think and I like people that make me think, because sometimes we just go through the motions of our day-to-day activities, not really being connected to the activity in a different way. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, one thing that they ask me at companies, how do we sustain the change? Then I say, make a very nice chart to put to frame for each one of the people working with you with the top 5 strengths. Then when they have it on their desk, and when they come every morning, it's the first thing they do before they check the emails. And it changes everything, because you begin, that's me. That's who I am. That's my strength. That what motivates me and make me authentic. And changes this thing, you begin seeing other people also through their strengths and toxicity, also flashes of teams. It's amazing.
Yes, it sounds amazing. So as soon as we're done, I'm gonna go get my little questionnaire.
Just, positive 33777.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna go get that to see if I'm in alignment with what I think I am. Because sometimes what we think and what it really is might be different.
Those who get in touch with me and, and want to talk, no strings attached, I can also give you on that discussion how to do a more scientific exploration of your strengths. The ones I will give you is more like find it yourself, which I strongly believe on that, but also there are today ways to do a kind of scientific way of looking at them for, like you said, checking scientifically what you determine by yourself about who you are.
Yes. I think that you talked about this peak performance under pressure uh, piece of it. And we've talked about so much. I've got a lot to simmer on today. But can you just talk about the four pillars of that, of what it means to be under pressure, peak
Oh,
performance?
I have a formula. There are
Oh, okay.
all P's: positivity, which means strengths, characters, plus psychological capital, which is confidence, resilience, optimism, and hope, plus purpose, equal peak performance.
Okay.
Okay, you can do those three: positivity, psychological capital, plus purpose, you get peak performance. Then peak performance is not about pressure,
Hmm.
okay? It's not micromanagement. It's not about fixing, it's about nourishing, okay? And if you follow that, step, is a process. By the way, the book is based on that process. I begin with strength. I move to a positive psychological capital, then to purpose, and then to peak performance. The book is structured to follow each chapter and at the end arrive to peak performance. Then there is a process behind all this, okay? And is when I work with companies, by the way, it's not a year process. Each workshop takes an hour and a half. The strength workshop, a psych is really all scientifically done. It's, very, people are surprised how easy compared to other systems that, meeting after meeting after meeting. We know the science, we know how to trigger, behavioral change. We know all that and simplifies the process.
Okay. Okay. So what size companies do you typically work with?
All sizes, because this is actually, who doesn't need purpose, positivity, and peak performance,
True.
and who is not going through the AI revolution challenges. Then I can work a lot for, I love to work with corporations. They are an interesting challenge, but I also like small companies because the intimacy, and I also like not-for-profit. I do a lot for not-for-profit, okay, which, they are a little bit more interested in value clarification, okay, and more, than I was an executive director in not-for-profit for many years, a very large one, international, with a lot of people. Um, then I feel comfortable. The tool is so human. It's about strength, positivity, and purpose that it fits all. It fits all, really, either.
Yes. So your workshops, if people want to, like small businesses want to attend your workshops, do you keep a calendar of things going on?
I go to places. I
Okay.
don't know for, I like, again, this is about personal attention.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about personal strengths. We are talking about the purpose of a company or a team. Okay, we are talking about resilience. Then I go to places and I work with a team on site. They bring me to a lot of retreats, by the way. Then that's the way I work. I don't give generalized workshops because how can you do that? It's like giving a generalized talk to couples. I mean, like, but I love keynote. And,
Okay.
and I am from Argentina. I would say that 50% of my work is in South America and 50% is here in the States. I live in the States, here in New York. I love keynotes. I make sure that everybody who come to my keynote leads with the 5 strengths. That's my commitment. Okay, then everybody get the 5 strengths during, and and I love that.
Yes, yes. I'm definitely going to be following you because I've never, ever, ever heard it put this way.
I am Alfredo Borodowski. You're going to, when you publish this, is going to be my name. I love LinkedIn, by the way. If there are
Okay.
some people who like to connect in LinkedIn and have a dialogue, I am a LinkedIn chunky, and that's my platform. I don't do things on Facebook. I don't do things in Instagram. I love LinkedIn. It's professional.
Yes.
It's the kind of style I like. Substance, science, consulting. That's my place, and I would love to connect and have a dialogue.
Yes, yes, indeed. And I'm definitely going to connect with you on LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn too, because like you, I find it's more serious.
It's a
And
different, it's a different kind of. It's different,
yes,
I don't judge. It's just my thing. I like it.
I like it too.
I like it there.
I like it too. Wow, Alfredo, I could just go on and on with you, but I'm definitely going to download my little thing from the phone and get into that. And again, how can companies connect with you?
Well, very simple. If you go to positiveab.com, you're going to see all my workshops there, what I offer, my keynotes, and my calendar.
Okay.
Okay, and just set a meeting. Okay, and I am very personable. I like to listen. I will listen to you, and let's see where we go. Very open mind, without pressure.
Yes, yes, indeed. Well, when the book comes out, we are definitely going to have to do this again
Absolutely.
for sure. So definitely, I'm going to connect with you on LinkedIn. So that way you can nudge me and say, the book's coming out, and then we can get something scheduled. So I really, really thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here today. You have dropped some very, very important information on our audience, and I just thank you, Alfredo. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Ada. Look, if there are a couple of people who are going now to discover their strengths and fulfill their dreams because of our encounter, everything was worthwhile.
yes, yes, indeed. And thank you, audience, for tuning in as well.
Thank you.